So moving to the daily time frame here, what is the first thing we observed on the daily time frame? So here on the daily time frame, it is very obvious that price action has been bearish, and in fact throughout the course of last year's trading session, we saw a situation where price continued to find lower lows and lower highs. And if we connect the series of lower lows and lower highs here, we have this resultant bearish trend line which has been guiding bearish momentum throughout the course of last year's trading session. Now at the beginning of this year, we identified two key levels which we said we shall be using to guide trading activity, and the first one is the $11,000 level here, which has been a level that has been known for a buying niche for participants in this market. In fact, if we go to as far back as the month of June, we saw how the $11,000 area has been a strong buying niche. The same thing happened here in the month of September stroke October. We saw buying pressure from that level, and one thing we noticed is that even though we had buying pressure there, we saw that sellers negated all attempt by the buyers to break out of the 11,700. So the 11,700 became our second key level for selling opportunities. Now, since the beginning of the year, we had joined this bullish momentum to the upside, and in fact, this bullish momentum did a final breakout of that bearish trend line, which has been holding bearish momentum since last year. Remember, breaking out of the $11,700 level, which has been a strong selling niche in this market to signal a possible strength in the bullish momentum at this point. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakout of a structure, there is a likelihood that price will retest the structure to incite another wave of bullish momentum. And one thing we have been witnessing here since last week is the fact that price is currently around the $12,100 level. And remember, we had a channel here during the later part of last year. We saw a channel between the 12,100. So you can see the 12,100 as a memory for selling power, as every attempt by the buyers to break out of the $12,100 level, we have been witnessing selling pressure from that area. In fact, we have a selling pressure here in the month of December, which shares a confluence with that bearish trend line. And right now, price is right back into the 12,100, which makes this current structure a critical point at this time. So we really need to understand what is really going on around the $12,100 level to decide what our next line of action will be. So if selling pressure resumes below the 12,100 despite this bullish momentum we have been witnessing here since the beginning of the year, we might likely see a situation where price comes back to do a retest of that trend line, the line which also shares a confluence with that $11,500 level, which at one point has been a strong buying niche. So that is one scenario we want to be looking out for this week. Another possible setup that could happen here is if the currents trading around the $12,100 level here transitions into a trend continuation pattern where it leads to the breakout of the $12,100 level, then we might likely see a buying opportunity on this one. So what we are going to be doing now is to scale down to the 1 hour time frame, where we begin to see things clearly by looking out for how price action has been reacting to the 12,100 since the beginning of this week. So scaling down to the 1 hour time frame, we want to see how participants in this market has been reacting to the 12,100. So the first thing we are going to be doing now is to, so we saw the $12,100 level here. So on the lower time frame, we saw our price has gone to as far as the $12,250 level, and then at the beginning of this week, the week started on a bearish note as we saw how the 12,200 became the resistance point for this week. Then we had some buying pressure around the $12,100 level before this final breakdown of the structure happened 3 to 4 hours ago. And I told you earlier that I took advantage of the sell opportunity here as price action broke down to 12,100. And for those who are taking advantage of that opportunity, kudos to you for being on standby. However, those who are not yet in this trade, well, let's see if the market will be presenting us with another opportunity to join a decline, if this is going to be the case for this week. So if we are going to be looking out for opportunities to join a decline, that is those who are not yet in this trade, what we are going to be doing right now is to look out for a retest of the 12,100, selling pressure below this level, then we could join that decline to the downside. You know, from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakdown of a structure, we expect that a retest will be inciting another wave in the direction of the breakdown. So what we are going to be looking forward to here, for those who are not yet in this trade, is to see if the market is going to do a retest of the 12,100. So somewhere around here we should have our sell limit around the 12,100 or the 12,150 area, because price might likely push further to the upside a little bit before we start seeing some selling pressure that will incite that bearish momentum to the downside. And if that is going to be the case here, where will our take profit target be? That is, if selling momentum will be the case for this week, where will our take profit target be? Well, in the meantime, if we look at what has been happening here since the beginning of this year, we have noticed that price action has been bullish. That is one scenario. And if we take into consideration the higher lows we have here, I already have a bullish trend line which has been guiding bullish momentum since the beginning of the year. And if we look at the structure here, it shares a confluence with the $11,900 level. Now, how important is the 11,900 with this current structure? Now, look at what happened here on the 23rd of January. That was last week, at the beginning of last week's trading session. We saw how the 11,900 has been a strong selling niche in this market. Every attempt by the buyers to break out of that structure was initially rejected, and this lasted for about 4 days before we finally saw the breakout of the 11,900. On the, I think on Thursday stroke Friday, we saw the breakout of that structure. And from a technical standpoint, whenever we have a breakout of a structure, we expect that price is likely going to come back and do a retest of that level, which will be inciting another wave of bullish momentum. So the position we are in right now is more or less a counter trend opportunity, and for the meantime, if price action continues to the downside, that is, if it does a retest and continues to the downside, as soon as it tests the 11,900, a level which shares a confluence with that bullish trend line, we want to be moving our stop loss to accordingly to lock in some profit. It could be around the $12,000 level. Lock in from profit, and let's wait out and see how price action will be reacting to the structure to decide if we are going to be adding more position to our existing trade, or we shall be getting ready to join another wave of bullish momentum. So what we are going to be looking forward to add more position is if price breaks down the bullish trend line and the 11,900 with selling pressure below the structure on our lower time frame, then we could join or add more position to our existing trade. However, if we start seeing buy pressure right above this bullish trend line on our lower time frame, probably evolving into a double bottom structure, for instance, breakout retest on our lower time frame, it will be a very good opportunity to join a rally to the upside. And a further breakout of the 12,200 at any point in time will definitely be welcoming additional position to our existing trade. So this is what we shall be looking out for the US Tech for this week. I hope you munch my screen so that you can use it as a reference point when you are about to make your individual decision on the US Tech. So it's quite a simple setup we have here. So I hope that we'll be on standby to catch either of these opportunities when they finally happen. Then there is one thing I would like to state here as well. If price does not continue to the downside as expected, and instead it continue to find higher highs and higher lows, then a breakout of the $12,200 level will be a good opportunity to join a rally to the upside. So my advice is that we remain patient here and look out for all these opportunities to be able to take advantage of these moves when they finally happen. So if you really have any questions regarding what I just explained so far, feel free to drop your inquiries right in the comment section, and rest assured that I will be of help in that regard.